my end. Oh, I have to this. Okay, hold on. Are you ready? Are you ready? Here we go. Yay, we're live. Let's see. Okay. Haha. All right. Let's see. I'm waiting for the lag to catch up.
Turn down the volume just in case there's any. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not seeing it on my mobile device yet, but you see us. There we go.
We're live. Let's see.
Oh my god.
Right.
Okay, let me mute this because you guys don't need to hear me in stereo. Okay. Oh, it's not butter crunch, Wombat. It's butternut donuts. That's what it is. I apologize for being late. We had a little technical hiccup, and what's funny is I know you saw us, Wombat, yesterday early. So yesterday when we did this test stream, if you watched that video or the live stream, if you look at it now, like the first 3 or 4 minutes, I didn't think we were live because I had it on YouTube on the back end. It said private. And I didn't even hit starting to record on the software that I'm using, which should have initiated the live stream part of this. And anyway, so there's like 4 or 5 minutes in, I'm like, all right, D.Will, you ready? We're going to go live. And he's like, yeah, man, let's go. And we were live the whole time. So it's a good thing I didn't say anything nasty. And of course, this time around, we were here half an hour ago and we're like doing the testing setup and everything. And I'm like, all right, we'll start a couple minutes early. And then so I went and started it, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's not why you're here. But it's really my live ineptitude is what the problem is. And I can fully admit to that. So let me go. I'm monitoring the comments down there. Okay, cool. So what's up, D.Will? How you doing? Nice to see you.
Hey, it's always cool to be back kicking it with you, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not like we don't talk almost every freaking day anyway. Everybody. But you keep coming back, and that's not my fault. So you're a glutton for punishment. So, I am. Yeah. So do you want to, for those that don't know, the people that are here probably know exactly what this is all about. This is just a create with me kind of thing. I'm doing a little creative project. D.Will's doing a little creative project, independent projects, but D.Will is, he's got Untapped Hip Hop. And then I have 124 Productions. And so we're our independent businesses that kind of mesh every once in a while. He's just a super chill, cool dude, also super creative. So, when I need a little like extra creative juice, I'll call him up, and so he's here. Yeah. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks. I actually just said this I think it was in the comments section of that like emotional video that I started having this morning, or maybe it was the other one. Maybe it was the actual day 14 day of authenticity video that I did. But it like what's interesting is that I'm starting to actually now, after being in the creative industry for a little under a decade, I'm starting to now feel like I'm an artist, which is weird, like to actually put that label on myself. But it's interesting. I never saw myself that way. And I never wanted to kind of be a poser in it.
So what made you not feel like an artist, though?
I think because when I was younger, it was always the technical. They didn't call it STEM, or at least when I was growing up, like my parents didn't say get a STEM degree or anything like that. But it was, do something with your hands, get into the trades. There's no money in art. There's essentially, and like we've talked about this at length about the photography not having any level of actually like monetization,
right.
Security. And so it was very well meaning, but they were pushing me, specifically my dad. I could cut a little stick in a piece of wood and my mom would love it and say, you're going to be the best at anything you ever want to be. You're going to be the president of the United States because you carved the best nick in this stick, or I just found a stick on the ground. Like that's the kind of mom I had. But I think that's probably what it was. So it's not that artist was a dirty word, but it kind of like got pushed way into the back when I was younger of like, you know, like if you want to make something of yourself, that you need to do something technical. So I think that's probably it. But to be honest, these Photoshop things that I've been working on and what I'm going to be working on today, I think now I'm starting to see like the art of it. I kind of get into the technical of it, like the I'll show you actually. Let me share my screen here real quick.
Pull that bad boy up.
Yeah, let's do this. So there's us. All right, you can see my Photoshop, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, so this here, and this is what I was going on about for today's video, like the actual video, not the bonus, like I'm being emotional video. What's that?
Still giving it to that turtle, huh?
Dude, yeah. This is Turtleboy, which I know you know very much of. So this is in the city of Worcester. He's our mascot. He's right. We have town center, which this is downtown, and he's right in the center of downtown. So in New England, we have, and I know a lot of other places throughout the country, but this wasn't really the case over in California that I saw too much. But you have City Hall, and then in City Hall, you'll have usually a common, which is a common area, like way back in the day. And that's where they would like announce stuff for the city before there was social media and before there was like the print stuff. So anyway, it was a very centralized location. This guy is at the pinnacle of the Worcester Commons. So it kind of there's a spot where two roads, and those are kind of the main roads coming in. And so he is right here, right across from him. He's looking. I don't think I've ever told you this. He's looking and he's not looking. The turtle is looking directly at the Worcester Public Library. So he's like, this is great. So he's riding the turtle. So this is actually called the Burnside Fountain, which was commissioned back in the day. I don't remember what dates. I'll just throw some out. I think it was like 18 something, like late 18 something, or maybe early 19 something. Yeah. And then someone stole them. And so they said, hey, we really like Turtleboy, so we really need to get another Turtleboy. So they recommissioned him. And rather than kind of put him in a slightly different position to like maybe a little higher up, so it looks like he's actually on the turtle, they just made another one. And I love it. And he's kind of the wonderful mascot of Worcester. Worcester is a very quirky, eccentric place. So this is the reason why I love Turtleboy so much, is because that he really does kind of speak to the heart of Worcester. So I'm not obsessed with him, but I love I don't know, the symbolism of it in so many different ways. Plus there's that juvenile side of me. And so I have several photos. What's that?
In my head, I just imagine like on the anniversary of the making of this statue, like a random turtle comes by at night and just places a flower. Like, yeah.
I'm gonna grab a couple. I think I have a couple more photos of turtle. Oh, where are they? Hold on a second. Why don't you tell people about? You can share your screen too. Why don't you tell people about what it is that you're working on?
Let me go there and pop my screen up. Probably get a bunch of let's see, entire screen.
I'm trying to find a couple other photos that I took of him recently. And while you're finding that, so what I'm doing, which I think some people probably saw a little bit of it just before I switched those layers off, is I've been compositing an apocalyptic view of that section of downtown, and this was before AI, before all this generative fill business. And I mean, I have no hatred for it, but I kind of enjoy the fact that I've done it without the artificial intelligence stuff, because that stuff's super powerful and really good, and it's actually it's a lot of fun. But it like I don't want to. It takes kind of the manual. I guess it's what people felt probably felt like when photography came out versus like painting, because I know a lot of people say, "Oh, that's not real artwork," because it's just you snap a photo. So, okay, so go ahead. What are we looking at here?
So I'm thinking of doing maybe 3 posters today. The first one I was messing around with yesterday, so this one's gonna be like a little waveform, like the audio waveform, very simplistic, minimalist poster for an artist that I like that's out here in the Inland Empire. His name is See For Yourself, and if it's okay, I'll pull up.
Wait, am I supposed to see for myself, or that's his name?
Oh, See For Yourself is his name.
Okay, who's on first?
But yeah, he's a really, really dope artist out here from the Inland Empire, and
was he one that you did one of those table concerts? What do you call them?
Oh, that was I call them Sparks, but that was Konami Hami that I did the concert for, the most recent one.
Yeah. What do you call them? They're like desk, not concerts, not desk concerts.
You call them Sparks, like because a little spark creativity,
Yeah. Konami was good.
Of,
Can't tell me shit. Yeah. I probably shouldn't say that on YouTube.
YouTube don't care. They're cool.
It does actually. We're far enough into the stream. I know that on videos, if you swear or have any sort of whatever they label as a cuss word within the first like 15 seconds or violence, it happened with a lot of because of the streamers that are playing games. Then they'll demonetize your stuff. Now I don't have this live stream is not monetized right now because I didn't want people to all of a sudden have a commercial break pop in while we're talking. But it probably will get monetized after the fact.
Okay.
So anyway, go ahead.
But this guy right here is See For Yourself, real dope artist. So I was going to try to do kind of a minimalist rendition of like minimalist poster with this audio wave of this song, and just kind of do something pretty fun with that. The next one, I kind of want to mess around with some risograph textures. So I might do
a what graph texture?
Risograph is kind of like an old form of printing where you got like rollers with black, yellow, blue, red.
Yeah.
Layer them instead of doing them all at once. So I want to.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
That. And for the third one, I'm thinking I've been reading the Book of Five Rings. Let me see if I can. So I kind of want to do some Miyamoto Musashi inspired stuff. If I don't do Miyamoto Musashi, I will probably do a geisha because.
Hold on just 1 second, D.Will. Yo, Wombat, you said that D.Will is quiet on the stream. Is he sound better now, or is he still about the same? Bradley, you better believe it is freaking Turtleboy. Well, I hear you okay, D.Will. I don't see it. The setting adjust loudly, others hear you. Okay. Yeah, so I don't Like, you seem fine on my end. I got you maximized. I wonder if it's echo cancellation. It might be because you have echo cancellation turned on, but I can't change it while it's midstream here. So, but I'm hearing you okay. So hopefully everybody else can at this point. So
for sure, I'll try to talk from the diaphragm.
Yeah.
But so the third one, I've been reading this for a while, so not for a while, but I just started reading it today. And I might do something either samurai or geisha inspired. Who knows?
Okay. Well, cool. So you probably won't get all that done on the stream, but I mean, who knows? I don't know how quick you're going to go with it. I'm not expecting to get Turtleboy done on the stream because it's pretty elaborate where I'm going with it. I got most of the layers, I think, put on. So are you good? Can I take over the?
Oh, yeah,
okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I'm going to take this and just, God damn, I got the. One of the things, I got 2 sets of glasses that I use when I'm working. 90% of the time, I use these glasses when I'm working on the computer, but they're a blue light, so they like cut out the blue light, but they make it slightly yellow. But when I'm working on something that's color sensitive, then I got to use my regular glasses. So cool.
So I guess you're already kind of started on yours. What's kind of your process when you started design?
It says that you're like half of me, the volume. I wonder if I have let's see what happens if I turn me down. Okay. So actually, let me turn me down even more. Maybe it's just that I'm overpowering you. Okay. So before we go much further, Mad Wombat, how's that sound? So I'm gonna I turn down my volume. So go ahead and D.Will, go ahead and say something else. See if maybe just like I was overpowering it because I have a podcast mic.
So what's your process? I typically go through some thumbnails before I start designing and try to figure out my spacing and what it is I really want to do. Do you have any, processes that you go through before you start? I know you already started yours. So did you go through a process before you started doing your piece, or was it mostly?
Yeah. So this is I like a dark. Most of the stuff that I do, I really like to do kind of like dark tone stuff, but playing with light. So there's certain things like I don't remember when I figured. I said, hey, this is Worcester, right? So this is I knew I wanted to do something with Turtleboy. If we go back over to here, you can see this screen now, right, with all the different images. Yep. Okay, I just want to make sure that it was sharing everything. So let's see, where is I think this is my first. Might be in here. No, okay, so there's that. Yeah. Hold on a second. My first kind of foray into this was for 4th of July. This was, let freedom ring, right? So I mean, Massachusetts is where maybe a little better, but still fairly low. Okay. Well,
my mic, because I don't have the most high-tech computer at the moment, so my mic could just be.
Yeah, you also have a lower. I have more baritone than you do. Plus, I have this microphone that's high-tech microphone, like 3 inches from my mouth. So, but hopefully, everybody can hear all right. As long as sounds like I'm hearing him through the mic from your speaker. Oh, that's interesting because I'm wearing headphones. So, people, do me a favor. Lean forward and start talking, like just to see what happens if you're like much closer to your microphone.
Lean forward and talking. being much closer to my microphone can really make a difference.
Yeah. You know what we need to get you probably if we're going to do these fairly regularly. I need to still beta test this, or not beta test it, but I got this guy. Yeah, this was like, I don't know, $50. It had the whole thing. This is not going to be my primary, but when I do other podcast guests, I'm going to start doing like going to places to do the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But that's for 124, so that's the business to business thing. But anyway, so this was kind of my first kind of foray into doing something with him, and I don't remember why, but I thought post-apocalyptic for some reason. So what I did was I went through and I got a ton of assets, and so like I was playing around with, like, I think actually this one made it in this car. And I was trying to take pictures of, like this thing here. Let me maximize this, but like I was also trying to see what it would look like if the buildings were demolished. Like what legitimately, what are the small things that you wouldn't even think about, like this. I don't even know what that is. That's some like Tyvek or something, some layering, but things that you wouldn't really think about. Like I would think about the crumbling and maybe some like rebar sticking out, but I wouldn't have thought about that Tyvek, or I'll just call it Tyvek. So what I did was I knew I wanted crumbling buildings. And so from there, I kind of kept going. And I said, we have for Worcester, we have an airport. Let me find Photoshop again. We have an airport. So I figured, and it's kind of hard to see. Let me see if I can quickly turn off some of the like. Yeah, the plane is right here. Yeah. So I got that. I got the car because there's a main street right here. So I just kind of see where the picture takes me. Mm-hmm. And so this isn't done, but what I want to do is kind of like highlight him, but I want to have some more flames, like the place is on fire. So he would have more orangey tones from behind him. And so I really liked this. This is the thing that I'm working on right now, where you can see I added the lamp there, and then there's the sign. No, not that guy. Okay, actually, that removes the brightness. Seems like the software is dropping him down for some reason. Leanin's about the same. Okay, thanks, Wombat. Hopefully, just speak up, D.Will. That's all. Just be louder.
All right. I'll start talking like Samuel L. Jackson then.
There you go.
I'm not yelling. This is how I talk.
So I kind of took this, and it, like, one little thing. Well, one thing about the buildings led to another thing. And so I was like, okay, well, like this beer garden sign here, I took that and I cut that out and kind of changed the lighting and whatnot, and I threw that there. And then I took other elements that were there, like this lamp. That is from this guy over here. And so that's kind of my process when it comes to at least Photoshop artwork, is figuring out kind of what goes well with it. And this guy here, this is supposed to obviously be the building in the back. So it was trying to align the windows slightly, like, you want it to be a kind of the same angle. And then having another building here, and they don't have to be perfect. I mean, the things are demolished. So, it's still, but it kind of helps you get the idea of what this was, and then bringing that beer gun. So then some of these other things just kind of help tell the story, and then of course smoke and whatnot. But my process is just to let the imagination take hold, I guess, and see where it starts to bring me, and then help tell that story technically. Like, you can see all these like millions of layers, and this is all the building stuff. Okay, I don't want to go crazy because I have a lot of them turned off that I haven't been using. Like a lot of it's trial and error. So, although I could just close out of it and reopen it, but yeah, that's kind of my process. Usually, I'll look at it and see what it's telling me. I know that sounds weird and artsy fartsy, but oh yeah, this is actually something I was playing with. Was
like
putting
goosebump stuff for a second.
yeah. What was this one for? Oh yeah, I think I was originally. This was to see more broken buildings, and then maybe have him. But I don't want it to be that kind of scene where there's guys with guns and everything. I want this to just be like, the place is on fire. What happened? What's the story here? You don't know why it's post-apocalyptic, but it just is. But yeah,
Right.
this seems pretty fun. So this was something that I was playing with, and like maybe playing with the blending modes to see how to apply it a little bit better. But right now he's so dark because of the way that I have the rest of the lighting that it's not really gonna show up with those blending modes. But I mean, his face honestly is kind of one of the best things about this. He looks so pleased and content and happy.
Just a man
So,
and his turtle. That's all it is.
yeah.
Just a man chilling with his turtle.
Wombat says D.Will is drawing a samurai, and I'm stuck looking at a turtle.
I mean, I'm not drawing the samurai. I'm doing more of a composite with it. If I was drawing it, it would take forever. I have horrible hand skills, and I always keep going back over things. So
that's okay though. That's honestly, I feel like a lot of us feel like artists are just really good, like art, like hand artists, like drawing or painting or whatever. Just they'll say, "Oh, I want to make this thing," and they just make it like with one swoop, And I know that's not the case. Some people are bastards and they can do that, but I know the vast majority of artists, it takes a process. So, what's your process when it comes to this?
I like to thumbnail out some stuff every once in a while. It's nothing crazy. It's just like just a quick layout. These are things I did yesterday when I think we were talking about your about the book, and I had to sketch it out real quick to put it in my head. But
the photo book with the like manual binding and the leather straps. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I had to like draw it out to figure out what I was going to say next to. So, and but I like the thumbnail. I really like to doodle and sketch before I actually start jumping into to any of the software like Illustrator, Photoshop. It just kind of helps me. What they say is like get the low hanging fruit out first, and then you can start mixing things up and seeing what works and what doesn't work. So, and I don't know. I think that just carried over from school. Do thumbnails first, and then start your design.
Yeah, they definitely like you to sketch stuff out. When I'm designing, not with the Photoshop artwork, but when I'm designing with like for a client, like if I was going to do a brand like a logo or definitely for logos, I sketch the crap out of that. It's funny when I storyboard a video. If I'm doing it, I don't storyboard my own videos. I don't. But if I need to storyboard a video for a client, I'll do I won't usually, like, sometimes I'll sketch it, but I feel like it takes longer for me to do that. So what I'll do is I'll try to find online like similar images to what I'm looking for. And then I might take that like in Photoshop and like maybe I'll say, but what I'll do is I'll lay that out. So if I need to sell it on, like, sell the client on like the visuals of it, then I'll take and I'll be like, these images are just to kind of give you an idea. So like we're gonna move in on a boy in a forest, right? Whatever, I don't know what it is, but let's say that my client was Nike and it's a new like forest running shoe for kids. Then I'd grab some forest shots and whatever, and then like I might actually sketch or roughly Photoshop a kid. Like I'll take another kid and I'll just like composite it into that forest, and that's actually faster and easier for me. To help me visualize rather than like a line sketch, because I don't know. It's a little more complete for me. And then it's also easier to, if I need to edit it and be like, no, he needs a blue sweater. And you don't even get into that with storyboarding really. But anyway, I find it easier to just have those kind of shots lined up, and maybe I won't like Photoshop a real kid's like back or something into it. I'll actually take a pencil drawing and like kind of sketch out like this black image of a silhouette or something, just to kind of help sell the idea. Sure. But that's when like if for like Photoshop stuff, I have an idea of like, buildings, whatever, and then I'll like take them in and then just roughly cut out the area that I want, and then I start to get like, maybe a little bit of smoke or maybe a little bit of fire, and just do like a super rough mask out, to kind of sell the idea, even on myself. And so it starts to build itself really well. Okay. And that's one of the things that really seems like the muse talks to me. I remember when I wrote my first book, my only book, I remember it being like I was I understood what they meant by like the muse, because like it was like it's coming out of me and I'm not the one actually doing it. Like my fingers are the ones actually putting the words to the keys. But same thing with this. I've told you before that when I'm done with a Photoshop project, I'm astonished at it. Like it's like the wizardry of it is incredible. And I'm like, how did this happen? Like, what are you freaking kidding me? Like, what? Like, look at this thing. Like this thing. I know this is a small thing. Okay. But like, I love the technical aspect of this, right? So this is the lamp and the sign that I have in here. Right. And so I could leave it like that, but if I add some highlights, then it kind of trying to figure out where this light is coming from. So like, how would it reflect on the different surfaces and at what intensity, because it's a little bit further away. And like this right here, this block is blocking that section right here. So obviously that light wouldn't really get up in there. So it's like the thinking of this, just like photography of like which is just the manipulation of light, was the way that the camera receives that light, creates the image that you're looking for. It's taking that.
Not to interrupt you, but what's your technique when you add in, when there's no light source, what's your technique to add in light on Photoshop?
So like in this case here, so what I'll do is I got the lamp and garden sign. I have that on one layer, and then I'll take the other layer, and I usually will do it curves. So I'll do two things. I will take, you see this curve adjustment layer. Yeah. I take that, and then actually let me do this one from scratch here. And you know what? I'm going to say save as, because I want to do another one so I don't lose anything. Cool. So I'll work on this one so I have my original. That's another big thing. You and I, you know that with me, especially with when we were working on videos together a lot, always duplicating your timeline or whatever, so you don't lose that progress and like overwrite it. So what I'll do is I'll go down over to here to the little cookie and do a curves adjustment layer. And so this right now is obviously going to take the entire image, And so I could bring it up like that, right? That's really high. I don't want to do that. But if I bring it up here, and then I'll do a screen,
Mm-hmm.
just so that it's only going to affect the the bright areas. If
Mm-hmm.
I have this in normal, let's see, actually, if I go over here, so let me maximize this. So it's affecting everything, but if I go to screen or lighten, it affects things just slightly differently.
Right.
Like color dodge actually looks pretty good for that area. So I might actually do a color dodge one also. But usually, if I'm brightening something, I will do a screen, and then if I want to burn it, or so the burn and dodge method.
Dodge and burn. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I was trying to do the opposite, then I would do like if I want to bring it down, because typically what I'll do, not always, but probably not in this case for this particular area I'm talking about. But what I'll do is I'll take two curves adjustment layers, and you could actually, let's see if, not exposure, sorry. So if I go over here to curves, let me turn off this one. So this is just the base one. If I go to screen, is it going to show? Yeah, you'll see that it automatically kind of enhances that.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I do another one, and I'll just call this Dodge, and then if I go over here and do a curves adjustment and just bring this to overlay or multiply, darken or multiply. So I'll just do multiply, and I'll call that burn. So that's typically what I'll do, and I'll actually make these both black for their masks,
And then use
and
for coloring. Wait.
yeah, I'll just make sure that I have white on the foreground, and then
Mm-hmm.
I actually have a little Wacom tablet. I used to call them Wacom tablets. I like Wacom better, but somebody kept saying Wacom, so I guess I'll whack around with it.
Tomato.
Yeah. So then I use a really, really soft brush. So this one here is, depending on what I'm doing, like I'll usually start big and then work my way down to the finer details. So I'll go a big guy here. And then my flow is real low. So I usually keep opacity at 100, but there are times where I'll bring the opacity down, but the flow is almost all the way down to 10. So if I were to do at 100 there, you can see it's nice. It's nice and subtle, but what's that?
With a low flow, you can build it up more subtly than
Yeah.
having a higher flow on it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I almost always, subtlety is everything, and just kind of keep going over it, just like you would kind of like I'm at 10 right now. So it takes a lot more to get that impact. But then I could also, from here at this point, I could adjust this here to increase the intensity.
Yeah.
And I mean, almost all the information is over here in the darks. You see a little bit over here in the lights. So I mean, I could play with it in a number of different ways. But usually, what I'll do is I'll make it a little bit more intense, like this, just to kind of see where I'm working, and then kind of dial it back. Another good way to kind of dial it back is I say, okay, I want to really raise this up, and I'll do it, and then just bring the opacity down a little bit. So that's a really nice way to kind of play with it. So that's basically how I do that. And in this case, I don't want it to actually affect the light itself. So I got to make sure that I don't. Hey, come on. Hey, sorry, the computer doesn't want to respond to. There we go. Zoom. So what I'll do here in this case is make sure that I could actually do it a couple different ways. I prefer, so I could like do a selection, and I actually have the lamp selected out, I think, over here somewhere. But um, one of the reasons why I like Photoshop artwork is because of the like um, meditation of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that there's a lot more effective or efficient ways to do this, but I really like to just go the long way. Like I like to do this by hand. It's kind of like painting by numbers, right? So right now I'm painting black so that that doesn't get affected, so that this thing doesn't get affected. And so part of my method is to do everything by hand, unless it's like really intense. But this is my meditation. This is my fun. This is my art. So when I'm at work, I know how to do the like, oh, I need to deliver this in 10 minutes or, whatever the shorter time frame is, because it's not efficient for me to go through and like, color out the guy's face one pixel at a time. But when it comes down to the artwork side of things, taking that extra time and just slowing down and maybe having some music on and like doing it the less efficient way adds that kind of like hand look feel to it, even if nobody else is ever going to know. It's just kind of that methodology. So yeah, that's kind of like my main way of doing it.
Okay.
So
that's what's up.
Yeah. Oh, was that you?
Yep, that was me.
Oh yeah, okay. So
so I was able to knock it out.
Right on. So yeah, so I'm gonna start doing this. I'm gonna keep going. We keep talking. I mean, that's kind of the idea.
I'm gonna start jumping on the more mundane part of my first piece right now, and then let's just shoot the shit while we're let's just talk it out while we're there.
Yeah, we're like, I don't know, 20 minutes or more in, so I don't think YouTube cares too much, but I mean, who knows? Whatever. Sure. But you asked me about Adorama earlier because they were going live.
Oh yeah, I like Adorama, but for some reason I don't follow them too much. So
they actually
want to ask what was going on.
Yeah, so they have a really cool, or they used to. I don't know if they really do it too much anymore because they kind of fell out of it for a while. But it also might have been somewhat inspired by oops, not that guy. By 2020, by COVID. Mm-hmm. But they used to have a really cool podcast. And so they'd have quite a few photographers. It was all photography. And I used to, when I was driving over into the different job sites, you know how LA traffic is, like if I'm going to a job site, it's going to take me 3 hours to get what would normally take 45 minutes. I would listen to them. And I don't remember who it was. It was a young lady. Well, she sounded like a young lady that would do it. And I think they kind of stopped it. Anyway, so my kind of beef, this is, I guess, what I was getting at one point, was my beef with Adorama. I used to order from Adorama. What's that?
I was saying you got Adorama beef.
Yeah. Well, I was as a VIP member, which means nothing except that I spent $50 a year to get their version of Prime.
Yeah.
And let's see, curves. Let me just do this from, actually, let's do a Dodge. Okay. And so Maggie bought me that really expensive, lenses get more expensive than that, but it was like $1,000 or something like that for Christmas or for anniversary. Yeah. So it was on my wish list, but she didn't know which one to get. And she used my wish list to get it. She didn't want it obviously to show up on my Adorama account because then I would see it and be like, oh, I'm obviously getting this for Christmas, so I spoke with them, and when you're a VIP member, you get extra points for your purchases, and the points equal to dollars eventually. Like you have to spend like $5,000 to get 100. It's something like that. But it does add up when you're ordering a lot of different things. And so I asked them, I was like, hey, so it's on the same credit card that I always use. And it was something that my wife got for me. You can see the address it went to. So can we just get this over onto my account so that one, I can get the points, because it would have been something that I would have ordered anyway eventually. And more importantly, the VIP membership gets you a like a damage protection.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's kind of important, especially when you have a higher, more expensive lens,
Right.
So I asked them, I was like, hey, is there any way to just, take care of that? And they said, oh, let me check with my manager. And nothing ever came of it. And they said, no, sorry, we can't do it. It's against policy, whatever. And what I should have done, honestly, what's that?
Did you go upside the head?
Upside their head?
Yeah,
I should have.
Like when they tell you something out of pocket, you go upside their head. Let them know.
Yeah. Well, I should have. I think I did say something about like, don't you know who I am? No, but what I should have done. Well, I don't want to say what I should have done, but what I could have done, and what I was trying to not do, because I don't like the habit of it, is I could have just returned it and then purchased it again. But that's just kind of a waste, and there's no real reason to do that other than to get the points and the stuff that I was looking for. And so I kind of figured that they'd see all the stuff that I've ordered, and because I ordered quite a bit of stuff from them, a lot of stuff. They were the people that I would always go to because of the podcast. They earned my loyalty because of that podcast. Anyway, so they didn't. There was that, and then there was something else. There was I needed a lens, and it was a special holiday for them. It was a Jewish holiday at some point, so they were closed. They're in New York. It's them and B&H. They're like right next. They're very close to each other, but they both are closed down for the Jewish holidays, and that's fine. But they were closed for the week, and when the next week had started, I got the confirmation that, okay, your order is complete. Here's your confirmation number. We'll ship it out when we come back to the office on Monday. And I waited. I never got the stuff. And then I called them and I'm like, hey, I need this. Like, I needed it Friday, but they were shipping it Monday, and they're in New York and I'm only in Massachusetts. So it usually takes like a day, 2 at max. Right. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll definitely have it Wednesday. It was actually it was this RF 16 mil lens. And anyway, it didn't get shipped out, and their attitude kind of made it feel like I was the one in the wrong. I wasn't trying to, like, I wasn't ripping them a new one or anything. I was just like, hey guys, I need this for a gig. I have a shoot on Friday and I need this lens. It was a hotel shoot, and my 24 mil lens wasn't. Yeah, it was that one, and the 24 just is not wide enough for those small rooms. And yeah, so they basically said, "Oh, it's not our fault." That isn't what they said, but that was how they made it. Hey, me feel was there's like my fault somehow, and I'm like, I understand this stuff happens, but like I need it, and so I think I ended up going to B&H for it, and I got it, and I got it very quickly, and I didn't have to be a VIP member or anything. They're just honestly, also, I got that. I don't have it on my desk anymore. I think I moved it. That 35 mil lens, that cheap, young Nuo lens. I got that from B&H, And I was taking a chance of like, it was like $100. It's super cheap. So it was cheap. I knew I was getting a cheap lens, but I was like, oh, a prime 35. Let me see what I can do with this. And that one was janked up and I returned it. And, but I actually was in the wrong. I called up B&H and I'm like, hey, I had started the initial return, a month ago or whatever it was. And I just didn't do it. Like I got so overwhelmed with work that I kind of lost track of it. And I said, it's out of its return window at this point. Is there any way that I could return it? It's broken. And I just want an exchange. I'm not looking for any money. It's just like this thing was defective. And she worked with me and she's like, but this can't happen again. And I appreciate she worked with her manager and the manager's like, yeah, just, do the exchange. And they flexed when they didn't have to. Right. So I was like, okay, cool. So I'm not expecting the world, but when people kind of go out of their way to help you, or even when they're not out of their way, it's just that extra level of service means so much. So I don't order anything with Adorama anymore. I so far have been very happy with B&H. I haven't been ordering nearly as much as I have been. I've been renting lenses at this point because I have all the lenses I need. But if I need something else for like that shoot that you're doing, that's a rental. And Borrow Lenses, there's one person in particular, the manager or the lead that I was talking with last week. She was incredible. I got her name written down somewhere. Lila or something. I got it written down. What's that?
Lorelei.
Yeah, it's something with an L. She was incredible. She was awesome. And just the conversation that I was having with her ended up giving me I had a conversation with one of the like first level responders at one point. And he was good. And then I had a question for her and she took care of stuff and was just like having a good conversation. And she was excellent. So she's built some really good customer loyalty with me. And as long as that, like she did, dude, you know me, like right now I'm talking for the last like half an hour and just jib-jabbing away. And she kept going. Like I was like, I know you got stuff to do. And she's like, I know, but we're dealing with your thing and blah, blah, blah. And anyway, yeah, customer service goes a long way. So yeah, Adorama, I'm not.
Adorama's listening. They're taking notes.
Yeah, well, whatever. I'm just a lowly YouTuber, who has a business.
You're a David. You're a David. Put some respect on that name, homie.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I mean, it's not about who I am, but it's customer service goes a long way, man. And I didn't.
So at what point will it be? It's about who you are. You know what I mean? Like, at what point in your career do you have to be like, I'm goddamn Dave Grenier?
When I get to Pete McKinnon level, when I'm Pete McKinnon level, then I'll be like, don't you know who I am? Or Casey Neistat maybe, but
I want to be around when you're doing that. I want to be in the same vicinity as you do
that. Straight up. So I'm not. One of the things that I've noticed with these days of authenticity, it's funny. So like when I'm seeing myself on these things, depending on what the lighting is like, there were times with Pete, or especially with Pete in the early days, like he would just light himself with the window and it had this nice light, but like it gives you such a good production quality of just having this. Now, right now I have softbox over here. I get that 45 softbox. And that's just to kind of give me some fill, especially because it's dark. It's not super dark yet, but this wouldn't be nearly enough light. Actually, how am I looking? Okay. Yeah,
Let me
still
go
looking okay.
let's see.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. This side's getting a little bit darker because the fill light isn't there, um but I'm seeing it. I'm like, wow. So the stuff that they did really wasn't all that intense.
Mm-hmm.
Of like the quality of what they were doing. They were talking, right? And that's easy, but like the production value that I put so much more of like, oh, I need this light and I need that. You need the three light setup or more or whatever. You really don't. And um some of the best videos that I've had have been on my phone, actually, like when I'm outside or I don't know. So it's been a little bit of a glimpse into the other guys that I would use as inspiration in my earlier days.
It's like
So
don't underestimate the power of simplicity. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like it
well,
gets the job done. It gets to the point. People understand it. You know, so it's one of those things that's I feel like sometimes it's not sometimes. A lot of times it gets overlooked. You know, just keeping it simple. That's why Gene Simmons is a billionaire. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Well, that's the other thing too. Like the authenticity has kind of made me keep it simple. And
Mm-hmm.
because I'm holding myself accountable for the once a day. And
Right.
there are times where it's like, this, I'm kind of getting a little long in the tooth, but at the same time, there's one of my subscribers. What's up, 3D Artist? How you doing? I don't know if you're on, but if you are, he's been very encouraging about liking this kind of stuff.
That's
And
cool.
yeah, no, it's legit. Let's see. I might actually keep that. Actually, I'll show you this. You see this little section here, that little like bright section right there on just on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Since you were asking me about my methodology, I
Mm-hmm.
might actually keep that. I was about to. It looks. I think that's actually a little bit like the mask didn't quite mask out enough. Um, yeah, it's
Zoom in a little
the
bit.
blue of the windows, right? But I actually think that that's going to be good. Let's see. Actually, if I do, um, if I do another, maybe I'll just do another curve just above it.
Are you because I was gonna say, if there's fire behind them, do you think you might want to give it like a bit of a yellowish or orangish hue?
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking was this actually, because there's going to be fire behind them.
Mm-hmm.
There's fire right here, but because it's already got a natural highlight to it,
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to do less work if I like if I just were to come in. Actually, let me do a hue adjustment layer, hue saturation layer.
What I sometimes what I tend to do is I'll put over a solid color, and then I'll mask the solid color and start to paint it in on the highlights layer.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Let's see. I don't know if I want to do that. Let me just do that. And let me go to screen maybe, and then yeah. So I was able to put this on screen, and
Yeah.
because I have that yellow or that bright edge to it, it
Mm-hmm.
helps to kind of sell that without an awful lot of
Right.
effort because it's right on the edge. So when it's zoomed out, it kind of you get that little extra fleck of brightness right there, which you
Mm-hmm.
would get on the edge of like clothing or the edge of anything really. So that's one of those like imperfect things that actually can sometimes help you. So that imperfect selection, rather than eliminating it, actually can help me sell the thing. I actually have you saw it, but I can't show anybody else yet because it's yeah, that thing.
Spies in the stream.
Yeah. So but I showed you that thing, and that was actually my first time with that, seeing that, because I would have normally actually gotten rid of that improper selection and taken some time and then done it. But ooh, sick off. Yeah. I don't think it likes the F word, so I can't go like too crazy. Ah,
there it is.
Dude. I still have to like kind of remove it from the building over there, but like, Jesus Christ.
It's coming out nice. Get the highlights in.
Let me actually just clip it. Will that make, oh no, of course it won't make a difference because I was trying to clip it to him, but then it won't clip to him because it's only the part that I have it blacked out down here. So yeah. Oh, fuck me. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. Sorry. Bleep me. Like, this is, dude. This is where this just gets so sick. Okay, so I get this on. I don't even know how much is coming out on the stream, like the quality wise. And then they would be a little bit over here, but so yeah, how's your samurai? You're doing the samurai first?
I'm doing a waveform first. I'm still doing the actual waveforms, just making the lines and sizing them up properly. But I mean, give you it's nothing worth showing right now. Let me get done with this part, then I'll start showing some other stuff.
Oh man,
because right now he's making lines. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be too entertaining for a lot of people.
Yeah, you got are you doing like Control D to kind of duplicate stuff? Can you do that, or is it not really?
Yeah. Well, I can, like, I'll do Control D, but since I'm like the wavelengths are different sizes, I still got to resize to make sure that they fit the format.
Gotcha.
There we go.
Let's see. So there's
that Control D is handy.
There's a part of me that wants to see what would happen if, actually, I could do it. I'm gonna
just do it. Worst case scenario, Control Z it.
Yeah. Oh man, now it's not letting me choose Riverside. I mean, it's not letting me choose Photoshop. Oh no. Oh, you know what? I wonder if it's because I hid it. Oh, okay. I didn't hide that. I hid this little sharing thing because it keeps getting in the freaking way.
Oh yeah.
So you know what I will do, because I'm curious. If I were to, because it would make this very easy. If, let's see, where is the lamp? Get the fire. Group 1. Is it in group 1? It is in group 1. Okay, so I'm going to say scene. There it is. So I'm going to remove that plane, and I'm going to try doing a generative fill.
Okay. What you going to fill it with?
I'm going to see what it does if I put a plane in there. Or I like to see what it does if I tell it to put in like a crashed plane.
Yeah.
Just because I'm curious. But I want to cut out.
Pull this up
him.
and see it live.
what I want to do, this is, I don't know, have you used generative fill much?
Nah, my computer at the moment.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it can be
Computer
intense. So
situation at the moment is just like I can do it. It'll probably just take like 3 days.
yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say like there, because that's where I had it before, and I'm going to throw in the generative fill. But I pulled out him because I don't want it to. I want it to be behind the statue, and so I don't want it to only put in where the statue is. So I'm going to say,
will generative fill, will it allow you to like word that, but like crash plane behind statue?
is I've had issues with it when you try to describe what's in the scene, like behind the statue, because I've done things like, behind person or whatever, and it doesn't really get it. It thinks, oh, I need to do a person as well. So
it'll start to do its own rendition of the statue and not do it behind your statue. Is what you're saying?
yeah, so it's tricky. It depends. I mean, it's still in the early stages. They took it out of beta. This is the full version of Photoshop. This is 2024. Crashed, demolished, passenger plane. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I've been very happy with a lot of this stuff. There's been some incredible generative fills that I've seen.
I'm excited to see this, man.
Yeah, well, okay, so there you go. That's like, this is part of the problem. So like it's not wrong. It didn't. Where is the layer? Because I know why. Because the fire's on top of it. Okay, cool. So I put it down.
You have 3 options, though, yeah.
Yeah, so it gives you 3 options, but it's not doing it at the right angle. Like this is actually pretty good, right? So if I wanted to, I could take this and then shrink it down. Mm-hmm. Let's see what happens if I put it right in here, because that's where it was. Okay. And then where is, it's down here. So let me run that again, and I'm going to do it right here because
do it more in the background, maybe. Like so.
Yeah, so I'm putting it in the group so that I want to see if it pulls in the lighting from that group. Okay. What did I say? It crashed. Broke.
747.
Yeah, there you go. 747. So last time it was up above the scene, and I'm curious because depending on where you put it will determine different aspects of what it generates. So it works pretty quick. Depends on your speed. Yeah, that's. I don't know what that is.
Oh, it looked like a wing portion, maybe.
It may be like the engine or something. Sometimes it just makes some weird stuff. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing for a quick sec because I don't want. Let's see. I'm not sharing, right?
No.
Okay, so let me see if I can. No, I didn't want to do that. I want to show you. I did that. Where is it? It was for 124. It was that that creepy ghost thing, right? Yeah. Apparition. Let's see. And I want to show you what it came up with for I want to show you what it came up with for options on that thing.
Entertaining.
Oh, is it on? It might be on my other drive. Yeah, it definitely. There was one where like I don't remember what I said. I think I might have just said like nothing because if you don't tell it anything, if you don't give it a prompt, then it'll just do its best. It'll basically do like a advanced content aware fill.
Okay.
And it gave me a creepy dog in place of the guy.
Oh, this is what you want?
So, is it this one? Hold on a second. I'm trying to plug in my external drives. I unplugged them specifically for this because I didn't want them to start doing any backups or something. Oh, that's not good. Okay, so I'm gonna it's gonna take me a minute here. Let's see who we got. We still got 2 people. That's cool. Appreciate it. I'm actually surprised we had as many people as we did starting out because it's the middle of the day, even on the East Coast.
Shouldn't be surprised.
Why? Because we're awesome?
Yeah, man. 2 days, 1 stream. Oh my
god. That's what we should have labeled it. You come up with the thumbnail, man, because I don't want to be in charge of that. I'm going to go to the wrong place. Okay,
so at the ice cream shop. That's all it is.
Yeah. Posits. Okay, where's my PNG? I mean my.
I've been I'm almost done with these lines, so once I get those done, I can start sharing my screen just to show you the progress where I'm at on that. But right now, it'll just be real boring to show me adjusting lines.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
If you guys want to see that, if that's something y'all interested in, I can give you a quick little glimpse. Well, Dave's not sharing his screen.
Yeah, go for it. The whole point is to just kind of go through the process. Also, create at the same time, but kind of share the process. It's going to take me a hot minute because I'm waiting for Turtleboy to save. It's a very big file with all the different photos and whatnot in it, and they're not all smart objects. Some of them are, but it's a very big file, even at an 8-bit file. And I need to close him so I can open the other thing because let's see. Oh yeah. Okay, so you're
riveting stuff.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's honestly that's the back end of making design work.
Yeah, and I can show some tips here. There are ways to do this real quick, but I don't know. I guess I'm just kind of like you said. It's kind of fun to do things the long way every once in a while, and that's just kind of what I'm doing. So you go to blending options and specific steps, and say I want 75 of those bad boys. Do that. Then back to object, and back to blend and make. And now I got 75 of them in there. And once you do that, you can, let me see, object expand, object fill, and now I got Control Shift G, and now I got 75 individual pieces that I could just go in and make them the way I want to. But since everything is super close in a wavelength, I didn't really feel like going through and counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
Because it's me. I always lose count. It doesn't matter what I do. I get to the last one, lose count, be like, shit, gotta start over.
Yeah.
But this, if you're in a time crunch and it's not, you don't want to get super detailed with it, I would say do the blending option. Then you could go in and you could pick multiple ones and just kind of make your own unique wavelength or whatnot.
Yeah, that's I'm really rusty at this point. with Illustrator. I mean, I used to use it daily, but I like Illustrator. It's such a great program.
Yeah, and you know, like I tell artists, don't be loyal to one program. I mean, Illustrator, Photoshop, and InDesign, they're meant to be worked together.
Yeah,
So
as long as it's not Premiere Pro, you're fine.
yeah. Premiere Pro is it's just frustrating. It's
It
very
is.
frustrating. It, sometimes I just want to slug it if it was a person, if it was a real person.
Well, not anymore. I mean, I know you're still on it, but DaVinci, man, DaVinci is where it's at.
I love DaVinci. I definitely love that program, and thank you for getting me on that because I would still be dealing with the frustrations of Premiere Pro.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so I am gonna actually. That'd be fucking sick.
Casey Ferris, is that his name, or is it someone?
Casey Ferris, yeah, it does DaVinci. Specifically, he kind of focuses on fusion.
Yeah, making toast. That's
Yep. Oh man, that toast thing made so much sense. Okay, where the hell?
Got 3 new tickets from AMC. Have you seen the new Godzilla?
I haven't. No.
I definitely want to check that out soon. I'm hearing it's pretty good. Did you see the new trailer for the Godzilla Kong?
I haven't.
Bro.
I know.
Bro.
I know.
The new Godzilla design is so sick. Like, it's crazy. It almost looks like he has gills now, but it's oh man, you gotta check out that trailer, dog.
Okay, I'll have to take a look at it. I haven't really looked at many trailers. Oh, really? I haven't been to the movies. Really, I'm trying to think of the last movie I went to.
Something Star Wars.
No, that stuff was always sad.
No?
Yes, Oppenheimer. Yeah, I went there a couple times. Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen. You ready?
Yeah, let me stop.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to pick through the layers here, but this is when the Photoshop gets real. Okay, so generative fill. So there's this photo that you know of, right? So the original was this guy, and then I did a whole bunch of magic to make him like a ghostly apparition.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I had to do was, in order to make him transparent, I had to fill the back. And he's somewhat transparent, which you can see. Oh, come on. No. Oh my God. Photoshop within like the last 2 versions has not liked to zoom in. Like I'll have to keep hitting the Z button and then zoom in. But anyway, you see like this little sliver right here. His arm is actually in the way of that monument. So you see how much is actually like blocked out from him?
Yeah.
And then this part here too. And then there's no grass or anything. And the grass and the monuments in the back, whatever, I could fill that with whatever. But this here was pretty evident when I tried to make him transparent. So I had to turn this into 2 different images. One of him, I had to cut him out and then put him on his own layer. Right. But one of the things that I did was, here we go. I had AI help me because I tried a couple different ways to do this. And I said, you know, let me see what it comes out with if I just do its own, like I selected the area and I just did a general expand. So let me pull this stuff out. Done. There we go. Okay, so this was the monument. So you can see like it actually does, if you look at the monument itself, like right here, it does a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Right. So it removed him from it. Cool.
Like it'll if it knows the location, it'll find photos from that location. to like fill it in or something, or
No, so what it does is it takes this actual image and it'll say, okay, based off of everything that's in here, based off of these pixels, I think on the context, it's going to be like it should look something like this. And what it really helps you with in this particular case is it really helps you with like angles. And like typically how I would do this in the past is like a stamp tool or a clone tool. And I would, like take the part that's visible and kind of like move it up here or whatever. But then I'd have to shade it in, not so much because he's in the way, so I don't have to worry too much about shading. But it does a pretty good job with matching the light in a lot of cases. But it gave me 3 options. And I said, I said nothing. I didn't say anything. So this right here tells me what my prompt was. Which was nothing. So I just let it figure out. I just want you to fill in like a content aware fill.
Yeah.
So one of the options is, do you see that? Do you see that freaking doll? Do you see this thing right here? Let me see if I can turn off the colors. That'll actually help.
That's a
See if I can get rid of Don himself.
like Coraline.
Yeah. So let's see. I used quite a few generative fill areas. But anyway, it instead of getting rid of him, it created a doll like that crazy thing, and then there's another one that was a dog. Look at this. It just decided to make this creep the crap out of me. I didn't tell it anything. And it said, oh, you want a creepy ass dog here. Like, honestly, the dog actually fits pretty well.
It does.
But, yeah, so that's generative fill.
Right. You should add the dog in the picture. That'll look pretty dope.
So, okay. I don't know why it.
A creepy dog.
Oh, guys, you have both of them on. Yeah, so that's the doll. Why the hell did it make a freaking doll? That's what I want to know. Like a creepy doll like that, or the dog.
Or Halloween time. So,
dude, yeah, it's gnarly. So, anyway, I don't remember what layers I had on, so I'm just gonna close that without. And again, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. That. It's crazy. It's creepy. Okay, where was I? Turtleboy Apocalypse. Oh, wrong one.
You got multiple Turtleboy Apocalypse?
Yeah, I made that live stream version so that I can have my original Turtleboy Apocalypse in case I screwed something up on the live stream.
Oh man, you should have just did it all on. You didn't have to make a new one.
Shut up. Shut up. That's how people get in trouble. Do you know how many hours I put on this Turtleboy thing?
Gotta risk it for the biscuit, man.
or I could just make a duplicate and not have any risk at all. What? Okay.
Nah, man. Nah.
No. I don't eat biscuits. Gluten free today. I am gluten free.
Get the best memes when you risk it.
I don't think you have my best interests at heart, to be honest.
I do, man. I do.
No, you don't.
I want to see you memed. I want to see a meme made
Nope.
of you in the next month.
Nope. Well, you can make it.
I can.
You can make it, and then you can make it go viral, and I'll make like 30 cents. Dude, I've been monetized on YouTube. Now, granted, I haven't really had anything take off. I have a couple of them that are like, one of them is the that video, the video. I have a video series of part 107, and like the first one, the part 107 study guide, has like 35,000 views or something. Yeah. That's the one that's netted me the most out of advertising. And I'm not doing it for the money, but it's funny because they don't pay you until you hit $100. And I've been monetized since like March, and I'm still only halfway there between like, even with the 30,000 views on that. And then I have like, there's another one that has close to that. That one surpassed my older one that had like 30,000 views, and then that one's at like close to 40, maybe. I stopped counting. But it's funny when it's like the shorts make you, even if the short takes off, it makes you like nothing. So it's interesting. It's interesting. You know, you see these people feel like once you get monetized on YouTube that you know you're actually going to make some money, and I'm doing it because I want to.
Yeah, but making a little couple of bucks ain't bad either. I was gonna say,
Yeah, no.
For the smoke, will the light kind of change the color of the smoke a bit? Because I like how it's kind of coming off of the back of the statue and hitting that smoke or that steam. So I
Yeah.
feel like light would kind of affect that, right?
Oh yeah, you mean in the smoke?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, so um and this is one of those things where to make it not just what I feel it would be, like what my memory would make it appear. I'm actually going to have to go online and see how, like, see smoke
Right.
coming from a fire and see how it would act. But
Yeah.
in this particular case, the smoke is going to act. I mean, every smoke I imagine would act slightly different based off of what's burning. Like, what's the consistency of the darkness? You know, the whatever's inside it.
Right. Right.
And you know, so there's obviously some artistic flair, but like if I were to take let me just make another one of those. Wait, where is that smoke? Okay, so that's that. I think I have a layer. It might be in the scene. Layers. Garden sign.
Come on, man. You gotta label your layers, my guy.
Well, the problem is that I haven't worked on this for a while.
I think click on the smoke on your piece and it should highlight in the layer.
No.
No?
Yeah, no. Yeah, this isn't Illustrator. Illustrator does that. I don't think that's an option in Photoshop. It might be. I'm not a Photoshop expert. I just know my way. I could have sworn I had it labeled smoke. Fire and smoke. See, it's right there. Okay. I knew. I was looking for smoke. So let's see. There's that one. That's the hue. Yeah. So I actually already added some hue to this one. Okay. You can't really tell, but like it's very subtle. But this was before. And I figured that it would be reflecting the orange a little bit, but not as much as what it's going to down here.
Right, right. It'll definitely diffuse on the way up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you can actually see like the edges are a little bit more highlighted right now. Yeah. So that's soft light, hard light. Oh shit. That's like on fire itself. Yeah, so actually overlay looks kind of good. And if I just kind of change the values of it with overlay, you know, so yeah, that's something I'll get to. Right now I'm focused on Turtleboy's orange. And I'll probably add another you know what? Why don't I do that right now? I'll add another fire. Where is my fire? That's fire and smoke.
So much fire.
Yeah. Because what I'm imagining is you see it here underneath the turtle. So I'm imagining there's going to be a little bit more over by this, by the car.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me. Thanks, Brad. Bradley says, "Oh, I love this. Even though the city has been destroyed, Turtleboy has survived. Turtleboy will survive forever.
Turtleboy will never be destroyed, man.
Yeah. So if I do something like this, then I'm just going to throw that behind.
Unless you want to throw a little graffiti on Turtleboy.
No, nobody would do graffiti Turtleboy. Are you kidding? Who's going to graffiti Turtleboy? Okay, so
turtles for life.
So this, in this case, this is one of those things where okay.
Still there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
It sounded like it faded out for a second. But it's back in now. Just about done with these lines.
I don't know how I want to put this fire in. Like, I don't want it to be too intense. Like, well, actually, that doesn't look too bad.
It looks all right.
Okay. Yeah. The nice thing about having fire is that it has a lot of interest, I think. But I'm gonna have to determine how much fire I want in this, because it could get too much. Like, I want to put some inside the plane. Brad says, could you imagine aliens coming to our post-apocalyptic world and seeing Turtleboy? They'd be like, WTF? Why was this boy worshipped for his unnatural love of turtles? I mean, you're pretty accurate with that, but is it unnatural? I mean, it's not condoned. It's not condoned in a civilized society, but he's just riding on top of it. That's all this is. He's just riding a turtle. If anybody's watching while they're at work and they happen to, like, I happen to be verbal, like, people can hear me, their coworkers, they're probably wondering what the hell is going on. What is this Brad guy
just
watching?
Turtle love, man. That's all.
Turtle love.
Turtle love.
Yeah, where the heck is? It's the problem when you get way too many layers. You know what? I'm going to get rid of some of these layers because I have my backup, the one that D.Will doesn't want me to have.
I was going to say, just group some of them bad boys.
Well, that's the problem. I got groups already, but I got to keep stuff out of groups for certain reasons.
Gotcha.
Okay, so this is pedestal. How do you spell pedestal? Is it Pedestal? That doesn't look right. Pedestal.
Pedestal. STAL. Pedestal.
It is still. I don't think that's right either. But
I don't think so either. I tried though. I'm a designer, not a speller.
Yeah. Okay. That is still Pedestal. Okay, that didn't quite look right, but no, I think you said with an I.
I was just using the Spanish E. That's why it sounded like an I.
I see. For all darkness. Whoa. That is just for. Okay.
My guy is just riding a turtle in the middle of a city. There's nothing to be offended by.
Nothing to see here.
It's normal. It's normal.
Yeah. To be honest,
in the 1800s, yeah, people used to ride turtles all the time.
Yeah, that's how we got around. Say turtles, mate. Okay,
Pirates
so if I
did it, the Navy did it.
Let's see. What's he say? Could you mention aliens? Yeah, riding, quote unquote, the turtle. Yeah. There is. I feel like honestly, once I get this dialed in, I actually kind of like all that extra fire. That looks pretty good.
I gotta get
Okay, all right. If we're gonna do this, let's see how much fire looks good. If I did this and then maybe put it in front.
Excuse me. There we
Nope.
go. Change those to rounded circles. Let me round it. Excuse me.
Flip this guy like that. Maybe just want it to be a little bit different. I could always throw different fire in here. But this would, let's see how that looks. Wait, why is
I got outstanding news.
What's that?
Finished my lines.
Hell yeah. I thought you just saved a bunch of money in your car insurance by switching to Geico.
I no longer have car insurance.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Don't need car insurance. We don't have a car.
Oh, that's true. Oh, what happened to your truck though?
Oh, it's in the driveway. It's dead.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you were going to go down to Texas or something at one point, but that was a while ago.
That was, things changed.
Yeah.
But it's cool. Eventually, I'm gonna get a new engine for that bad boy. Put some work in on it.
Well, you got your scooter, right? Your little scooty.
Oh yeah. I gotta get a new starter for it, so I've been tuning it up and everything. Working on it every night before I go to bed. I'll put in a couple of minutes, maybe about 45 to an hour.
Right on.
Yeah, it's just never worked on a vehicle before, so it's pretty fun.
Oh, dude, when I had my motorcycle, that was the most. I used to work on. I had a Granada when my first car was a 1980 Ford Granada.
Yeah.
And so I had to learn a little bit, but you could basically stand in the engine of that thing. I mean, it was a beast. And so it was really hard to hurt.
Granada sounds strong. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh yeah.
Sounds like something that let's see. It's cool if I steal the screen real quick.
Yeah, go for it. Stop sharing. There you go. You can take control. Oops. You're gonna end up taking a break here in a minute.
Yeah.
Pause back up. Why is it?
I gotta go grab some food in 20 minutes. So.
Yeah, we can actually just end it here in a couple minutes here. I mean, I'll probably still work on this at some point, but I should actually contact some people for 124. So.
Okay.
By the way, I don't know. Do you play? No, you didn't play StarCraft, but I don't know if Brad's still on. Brad is very familiar with StarCraft. This is the StarCraft glass that I have two of them. It's got like some really cool etchings. It's a Blizzard game, kind of like Warcraft, but in space.
You're telling me about it. Let me check it
out.
out.
I was trying to get you hooked on fighting Amon, but you wouldn't do it.
I don't have let me see. Pull it up again.
Oh.
Okay. Are those the
These are the symbols. So you got Terrans, Protoss, and Zerg. So there's three different. These are like the oh god, what was that movie? Not Super Troopers.
Toy Story? Was that his name? Zerg?
Oh, Emperor Zurg, evil Emperor Zurg. Yeah. No, but these are like the oh god, what was the name of that? I don't know if Mad Wombat's still on, but he'd know the answer to it. It was a movie. It came out in the 90s or like early thousands.
Yeah.
Where it was like these bug aliens, and then you had the human troopers.
Starship Troopers.
Was it Starship? Well, that makes sense. I just said troopers. Yeah. So it's basically, I feel like they stole their idea from StarCraft, because those alien bug things, that's the Zerg. Like everything about them is the Zerg. And then minus the Protoss. The Protoss were the advanced alien species, and then the Terrans are the humans. But they basically just, oh yeah, for the Zerg, for the Swarm. Bradley just yelling, spaceship troopers, close. That was close. D.Will said it was Starship Troopers. I'm pretty sure that's correct. Oh. All right, what you got? Look at all your lines there.
Yeah, I think I want to convert them to a shape, though.
It's so funny to see other people's layouts.
Like all my grids and stuff.
No, well, no, like you have the bar, like with all your tools and stuff over on the left-hand side, which is the default position. But I went to Adobe Max. I told you I went to Adobe Max like back in 2018, and I saw it where I have it in Photoshop, where you were seeing like all that stuff's to the right from me.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, this lady's crazy. What's she doing? But she was one of the developers of Photoshop, and she explained why she has hers over there. And I'm like, that makes sense. And I'm so used to it now that having to go over to the left, it's just a whole bunch of back and forth. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. It's just funny.
I've been meaning to switch that, but I just really haven't done it. I don't know why. It's one of those things.
That's okay. I'll forgive you.
Thanks. That's all I ask. I'll ask for a little forgiveness every once in a while.
You know what I need? You know what I should do? Hold on a second. Stay right there. I can't hear you, but
okay, nope.
I'm actually gonna change.
Oh, anybody in the chat? You know, you guys.
Hold on, I
should I
can't
put
hear
an
you.
outline in there or just keep it solid white? I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. Let's see how it looks.
Oh, that's real bright now.
What's bright?
Hold on, I don't know if you were talking to me. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, I was asking the chat, see what their thoughts were. See if I should thicken it up or. I think that might be too light, actually. Let's darken this up a bit.
Actually, can come down a little bit.
Hmm?
I'm talking to myself. I'm changing my everything in my color temperature. And normally I would do it on my phone remotely, but I'm watching the live chat on my phone, so
gotcha.
I don't want to like switch out and screw something up. So
Trying to play with the color a bit. Oh, let's see.
What's that that recolor?
Oh,
I don't know if it would make much difference right now because you only have one color, but I know that Illustrator has that recolor option, or the one that kind of gives you different options. You're like, yeah, I want just throw me some different color options or like generative.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Right there. So let's do this.
So it gives you like styles.
Yep. So I get like different types of looks and stuff. And if I want
that's cool.
If I want to go in sky blues, actually sky blue is what I'm kind of looking for anyway. Let's see, boom. And it'll still keep like all my old stuff down here, and then it'll generate different colors. Actually, no, nope, don't really like that.
Oh yeah, that one's that
right here though. It's between that and this. So I like that.
Go back.
This one or this one?
No, on your top two.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, that one and that one.
It's a slight difference.
Yeah, no, for sure. Honestly, the one on the left, that one that you have, looks more like an RGB blue, and then the one to the right looks more like a CMYK for the same color value. So, because it's a little more muted. Are you printing this, or is this just going to
it's gonna be digital? It's gonna be
digital. Yeah. So I actually kind of like the one on the left more myself, which I know is the one that you were going for.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling that one a lot. Oops. There we go. And then let me take this off. Let me just keep it solid and white. So I guess like right now I'm just blocking stuff in, and
Mhm.
right now, all right, let me turn my grid back on. So I want to do kind of a Swiss style, like Swiss grid, and I'll add in some text up here. And that C for yourself. Oops. And now it's time to pick a font. Let's see.
Do you have like a favorites list of fonts that you use?
I do. As you can see, like these are the ones at the top are the ones that I use the most.
Mhm.
One of my favorite is obviously,
Obviously.
and Aurion and Anek
Oh
Pro.
yeah. Algrion is on my list of stuff too. I have in Photoshop, I have I have some of them starred
Mhm.
so that I can just kind of like scroll through real quick and be like, these are the top 10 or whatever they are.
Yeah. That's something that I definitely need to do as well.
Yeah, it's super easy if you're on that characters page that you were just on, like the little drop down.
Oh
There's
yeah,
actually a little star next to it. You can.
yeah. Let me grab
But
this.
the problem is too, like I'll have a tendency if I'm trying to do something real quick, especially my own branded stuff, because I
Mhm.
use Muley as my branded font.
Yeah.
I actually like Mosque a little bit better, but it doesn't come with any italic options. Hold on a second.
Oh. Oh, the bell on there.
Someone was knocking. It doesn't come with any italic options, so I don't. I went with Muley because it's pretty close to Mosque, and it gives me a lot more versatility for my font.
Ah.
So, but I have a tendency to. I try not to stick unless it's a branded piece. I try not to stick to those particular fonts because I don't want to lock myself into just like that boring habit of doing the same thing because each piece is different. You
Right.
know, even though it might have my flair and my style. Like even the thumbnail for this live stream that we're doing, that was actually one of my favorited fonts. But I was trying to just like knock it out, but I wasn't loving that design that I did for that thumbnail. I can always change it, but anyway,
Yeah.
I like that font that you got right there. What is that?
This is a neck Latin. And what I like about
Okay.
this one is it's a lot of variation to it. It's a simple font. You get it nice, thick. You get expanded, bold,
Oh,
semi-condensed.
geez, yeah, that's got a lot of
Yeah,
versatility to it.
and it really works well with Elrion. Like a neck and Elrion, like kind of pair very well together. So I'll use a neck for like headers, and then I'll use Alrion or Aileron for like body text or whatnot. I
Mhm.
also really like obviously too. It's a really solid font, and it also has a lot of
Jesus,
yeah.
wide and extended. Wow, that's a lot of options.
Yeah,
Wow.
and it's a double edged sword too, because when you have a font with a whole bunch of options, it can it'll get in your way as well. Actually, I might go
Oh
out.
yeah, no, for sure, for sure.
Let me see this tab it. So with Swiss design, you kind of want to like classic Swiss design. You kind of want to kern your letters pretty close without like touching, So it's like you just kind of got to zoom in and see what works, and you know. I
Yeah,
really,
it's always challenging when you have the letters that, like the E's are obviously easy because it's a straight line, but then
yeah,
you'll have ones that have like, and
the
that's not too bad. That actually that font is pretty good because even that S has almost a pretty well defined
yeah,
line to it. Whereas a lot of other times you'll have more of a curve or like part of the curve will come out, and so it makes it more difficult. This looks good for kerning.
Oh yeah, it is. This one is obviously, and it's a solid font.
Obviously.
It's definitely like I said, it's really good for headers, and I've been enjoying it since I've been using it. Let's see, I'll bump that up a bit. And get all the way out. And I'm going to make sure we set it to the grid. There we go. And for people who, when you set font, you have extenders and descenders. What you want to do is when you set something to the grid, always use something flat like the F's and the E's, because your S's and your O's are going to have descenders kind of going below that the grid line. So you can see on the O, it goes below the grid line and slightly above the grid line. So I'll just always set to where you have
anything that goes past that X height. Yeah. Usually you'll see like G's and Y's.
Yep.
Those will go real low, but yeah, that's a good pro tip. And because we didn't say what it was, and there might not be people on here that know, but the kerning is the space in between the letters.
Right. Yeah. And it's also like descenders also go sideways too. So like if you can see, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. I set my S to the grid right here, but as you can see, like on the bottom of the S, you have a bit of a quote unquote descender that extends past the grid. That's cool. Just make sure that the main part of the S. So it's usually easier to start off with words that have like straight lines like this E.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw it. I might have sent it to you. Or maybe you sent it to me. It was a while ago when Google, somebody, I don't remember what website it was. I might have gotten it from Creative Block. And it was like, the whole like the mathematical versus the optical accuracy on stuff like this. And they were saying how the Google G, the newer one that's got like, it's a capital G and it's got like the 4 or 5 colors or whatever. It's like there's segments to the G, but each one is a different color.
Yeah.
And they were saying that they were talking about that, how it's an imperfect logo, quote unquote, because it's mathematically there were parts of the G that overhang that wouldn't be natural to a G, but and they actually made it mathematically correct, kind of like what you're talking about, where the stuff lines up and it's all symmetrical and whatever. Anyway, I'll see if I can find the article, but it was interesting because they showed that the official Google one was optically accurate, but not mathematically. So it was a really good example. And so when he did, or she did, whoever wrote the article, and did the mathematically correct one, it was like, this looks terrible. But like, because it's one of those things where you get something mathematically accurate and it just doesn't flow
right
oftentimes, so and I've run into that before too, where like I'll set up a grid system on like a fact sheet or something and it's good, it matches the grid, and like all these parts are quote unquote proper, and I just like, oh, did I just unplug myself? I did. But I'll like throw it off. Like I'll be like, oh, now it's 10 pixels too far to the right, but it feels better.
So yeah, like sometimes, especially when it comes to text, body text, you kind of want to stick more towards optical, optical framing, because it's like I said, it just feels better. If you get too mathematical with it, people will be like, oh, that just doesn't feel good. It doesn't look right.
Yeah. Well, hey man, we're coming up on 2 hours. I know you got to eat. I got to eat. And I mean, it's late here. But I like what you're doing there. And
I'm still.
Yeah,
You know, I'll put a pin in this one, and if we do this again, I'll be a little bit more farther along than just making all
yeah.
the and stuff.
Well, I feel like probably what I'll do with Turtleboy is I'll work on it here and there.
Okay.
I could easily overdo it, but after my 20 days of authenticity, I'm not sure exactly what my posting level is going to be. But what I might do is, because it's too much, honestly, the level of effort that I'm going through is too much for every day. I am getting distracted from working on 124 in order to post things to the degree that I need to, like just to quickly post them. But I do like having something to post every day. So I'm still adjusting with it. I'm on like day 14, so tomorrow's 15. So I only got another week and a half. Oh no, another week and like 2 days.
So are you doing weekends too, or are you taking weekends off?
No, weekends are off. Okay. No, that's part of that hamster wheel. Like I'm developing my own hamster wheel, and I want to make sure that like I build the weekends in, and like if I work on stuff, like maybe that's where what I've tried to do is like my artwork or my writing. I've tried to do that stuff on the weekends. And oh, it's the tablet. And like that's my fun time. And then during the week, I'm working on 124. But this kind of took over, but that's that flexibility of like we did this for 2 hours. And so I don't know, like I like the idea of doing the vlog style videos, but I do need to get some forward momentum on 124. So I can't let it distract me. So anyway, my point is, I liked this. I felt like there's value for me, and you and I are talking all the time anyway. Yeah. And even just when you just started talking about like the branding stuff, maybe one of the days we could actually do like a branding discussion. I have a client, or I'm sorry, he's not a client. I have somebody that I'm going to be doing some work for him. Some of it's going to be pro bono, at least for now. Okay. Because he's building a company, so I'm going to be maybe helping him with his branding, even with like a style guide. So like that, we could actually have a dedicated like branding discussion, which is something that I've wanted to do for my channel anyway. But this is like having your input, like this dual thing works, I think, really well. So maybe we could do that, but I don't know what.
Definitely fun to get input live on stuff, you know what I mean? Where it's like you're talking, and maybe to give value to somebody, who's also a graphic designer out there. Like, oh, how do certain things get done? But yeah, like I'm totally down. You know me.
Yeah. No. Whenever I ask you, like, hey, you want it, and you're like, let's run it. That's what you say.
Let's run it.
But yeah, I mean, you and I will talk offline and see what kind of schedule we want to do that makes sense. We always have something to talk about. That's for damn sure. So, would you say 2 Daves, 1 live, or something like that? One stream. Yeah, 2 Daves, 1 stream. All right. Well, I mean, I'm good to say goodbye. If you're good to say goodbye.
Yes, indeed.
All right. You want to say goodbye to everybody? And I'm going to end it. I have to end it a certain way. Everybody, you know how I got to end it.
That's right. All right, y'all. Should I put it? Is it cool? I put in my tagline, or
put in your tagline, man. Put in your tag.
This is D.Will from Untapped Hip Hop. So long, goodbye. But in all seriousness, tap into your potential. So.
There you go. Tap into your potential. Okay, and I will say until we see you next time, be good to each other. Beautiful. Total watch.